You have walked through storms that no one else could see. You smiled in daylight but cried in secret, wondering why the same God who promised to protect you allowed the wind to rage so fiercely around your soul. What you did not know was that heaven had marked that season as a test not of your talent, not of your power, but of your love. God wanted to see what would remain when everything else was stripped away. And you passed through that furnace not by accident, but by divine design. When the doors slammed shut, when people you trusted turned away, when prayers seemed to float unanswered into the dark, those were not signs of rejection. They were checkpoints of loyalty. You were being measured not in success but in surrender. Every tear you cried was recorded. Every sigh in the night echoed through heaven's halls. You didn't break, you bowed. You didn't curse God, you clung to Him. That was love under examination. Listen carefully. Now, this message is not appearing on your screen by coincidence. This is divine alignment. The reason your heart feels this pull right now is because your name was just spoken in heaven. God whispered. They passed the test, while others saw chaos. Heaven saw commitment, while others saw failure. Heaven saw faith. You didn't know it. But the fire you walked through was the proof that your heart belongs to God. Not to outcomes, not to applause, not to circumstances. The Word of God declares in the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10, "But He knows the way that I take when He has tested me. I shall come forth as gold." You see, gold is never proven until it endures the fire. Your love was tested in silence, in loneliness, in disappointment, and yet your worship never stopped. The world thought you were losing, but heaven was promoting you. You didn't realize that while you were holding on to God, He was engraving your name among the faithful. Every yes whispered through pain became incense before His throne. Every moment you refused to give up became a declaration louder than any sermon. Now heaven says, the test is complete. You are crossing from trial into testimony. You are no longer defined by what you lost, but by what you learned. Your loyalty has rewritten your story. The wilderness was not punishment, it was preparation. God needed to prove to the enemy that your love was not for sale. That even if blessings were delayed, your heart would not betray the one who called you. Do you remember those nights when you thought you were forgotten, when you said, "Lord, where are you?" That was the silence of a teacher during the test. The exam was being marked. And now the results are out. Heaven has stamped you approved. You stood firm when temptation whispered. You kept forgiving when bitterness tried to anchor you. You stayed pure when compromise promised comfort. You kept loving when love wasn't returned. That is the highest form of faith. And because of that, something has shifted in the spirit realm. The test unlocked a new level of authority over your life. You will soon see why it had to be so painful. God trusted you with suffering because He intends to trust you with glory. There are mantles being prepared for the ones who endured. There are crowns waiting for those who did not let heartbreak turn them into cynics. You are one of them. This is the hour where God exposes what He has been building in secret. Your story will no longer be defined by the struggle, but by the survival. Heaven watched you choose love instead of resentment, obedience instead of rebellion, prayer instead of revenge. That's what separated you from the crowd. Others ran from the fire. You stayed in it and let it purify you. Now the refining is complete. The light inside you will burn brighter than before. You are stepping into a season of restoration. not because you were perfect, but because you remained devoted. The test was not to destroy you, it was to distinguish you. You are not the same person who entered the storm. You have emerged transformed, radiant, and unstoppable. This is your confirmation. God tested your love and you passed. If this word speaks to your spirit, pause right now. Don't scroll away. Lift your heart and say, I receive it. Then, as an act of faith and agreement, comment 777 below to seal this word and declare before heaven that your love has endured the test. Like, share, and subscribe so this message can reach every other chosen one who is still in their testing season, because they need to know love wins in the end. You have crossed the invisible line between testing and triumph. From this day forward, the same God who watched your tears will showcase your testimony. What once broke you will now bless others through you. Stand tall. Chosen one, heaven smiles upon your endurance, and your next chapter begins with divine applause. The fire didn't come to punish you, it came to prove what was real. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer was a forge where your heart was refined. You thought it was the enemy's attack, but it was heaven's assessment. Love, when untested, remains theory. But love that walks through the valley and still chooses to stay, that is divine. There were moments when you felt the sting of rejection so deeply that it made you question if you were doing something wrong. You replayed conversations. You searched your heart. You tried to fix what was never yours to fix. Yet, through it all, something sacred was happening inside you. Your love was being purified of expectation. God was teaching you to love without needing anything in return. You learned that love is not measured by how others treat you, but by how you continue to treat them when they wound you. When you refused to hate, heaven took notice. When you blessed those who cursed you, angels recorded your response. When you chose peace instead of vengeance, you stepped into the likeness of Christ himself. That is the unseen warfare when darkness tempts you to mirror its cruelty, and you instead reflect heaven's mercy. There was a day when you cried and said, Lord, I have nothing left to give. But still, you got up. Still, you prayed. Still, you loved. That single act of choosing compassion over bitterness was a sermon louder than any words could ever be. It told the universe, my love for God is not based on outcome, it is based on covenant. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 10. I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind, to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve. Those words echo now over your life. The searching of your heart was never about condemnation, it was revelation. God already knew your devotion. He wanted you to see it. There is a kind of strength that only emerges when everything else is gone. When there is no applause, no affirmation, no visible reward, and yet your heart still chooses love. That is the moment heaven calls you faithful. Every pain you endured was seen. Every night you whispered, I still trust you, became a pillar in your spiritual foundation. You may not have realized it, but while the world saw loss, the kingdom saw promotion. Love under fire does not shrink, it sharpens. It teaches endurance, molds humility, and births wisdom. You now carry a gentleness that hell cannot counterfeit, and a discernment that only suffering can give. Through the trials, you learned to hear God in silence. You began to understand that His presence is not always loud. Sometimes it is the stillness that follows heartbreak. That silence wasn't emptiness, it was intimacy. It was God saying, "I'm here, even when you can't feel me." The very moments you thought you were abandoned were when He was closest, taking notes of your loyalty. And now, though the scars remain, they shine. They are proof of what you survived, symbols of what was refined. You have learned that love is not soft weakness, it is divine resilience. It's the power to endure without hatred, to believe without evidence, to remain tender in a cruel world. You didn't fail when you felt pain. You triumphed when you refused to let pain turn your heart cold. That is the power of a chosen one, to love under fire and still come out burning brighter. You have learned that real faith does not need constant proof. When you kept walking without answers, heaven recorded every step as worship. That is why your silence carried more power than many prayers. It revealed trust when understanding was gone. Your obedience in obscurity built unseen altars. Each time you forgave someone who didn't apologize, heaven expanded your territory. Love has turned your wounds into wells, and from those wells, others will drink hope. Every scar is now a prophecy of healing. The same places where you bled will become the places you bless. God will use the very pain that tried to silence you as evidence that love cannot be killed. What you thought was loss was actually investment. The tears you sowed in secret are coming back as a harvest of peace. Your patience under pressure rewrote your future in heaven's ink. You no longer need validation, because divine approval has already been spoken. God saw the hidden war, and He calls you victorious. Your love under fire became the anthem of your destiny. Stand firm in that truth. You passed through what many would not survive, and yet your heart still beats with compassion. That is the sound of heaven's victory echoing inside you. You are the evidence that love is stronger than pain. Heaven now trusts you with deeper assignments because you proved your heart can carry light through darkness without losing its warmth. There were nights when you wondered if heaven even noticed your tears. You thought your prayers vanished into an empty sky. Yet in truth, every word you spoke was written in divine ink. Heaven was never silent, it was watching. You didn't realize that while you were asking for help, God was documenting your endurance. You were being studied not in comfort, but in chaos. The invisible eyes of heaven recorded how you loved when you had every reason not to. When you comforted others while you were still bleeding, angels took note. When you gave even though you had little left, your generosity became a fragrance that filled heaven's courts. The world didn't see it, but heaven did. There are scrolls filled with moments you thought were meaningless, small acts of mercy, quiet forgiveness, whispered prayers. All of them were evidence of your faithfulness. Heaven's hidden observation was never about testing your worth, it was about proving your purity. God saw that your motives remained clean even when your circumstances were not. You didn't serve for recognition, you served out of devotion. You didn't love for applause, you loved because love was your language. As was spoken in the sacred texts of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 15, "The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and His ears are open to their cry." Those eyes never left you. Even when you felt invisible, you were under divine surveillance, not for judgment, but for affirmation. Every sigh, every, help me whispered, through exhaustion was heard. You were not abandoned, you were being observed as heaven prepared to reward you. And now, the record is being opened. What was written in secret will soon manifest in public. The same heaven that watched you cry is now rising to vindicate you. What you did out of love will return multiplied. God saw you when no one clapped, when no one said thank you, when no one even noticed the weight you carried, and now, heaven is repaying in abundance. This is why you must keep your heart tender. Don't let the world make you bitter. The moment you think no one is watching, remember, heaven always is. Every hidden kindness, every unspoken prayer, every selfless act, none of it is wasted. The eyes that watched you weep are now watching to bless. You were not being ignored, you were being recorded. And those records are now becoming rewards. Comment, "I am seen." Say it as a declaration of truth, not because you need human recognition, but because you know heaven has witnessed your journey. When you write it, you align yourself with that divine awareness. You are reminding your spirit, I was never alone, never unseen, never forgotten. Every step was noticed, and every tear was counted. The eyes of the Lord have been upon you all along. When you write, "I am seen," you are not just typing words, you are declaring a spiritual truth over your life. You are announcing to heaven and to your own weary soul that you were never invisible. You are acknowledging that even in silence, you were witnessed by divine eyes that never sleep. "I am seen" means that your pain was never wasted. Every tear was counted. Every sleepless night was remembered. You may have been overlooked by people, but you were never overlooked by God. The same eyes that saw Hagar in the desert and called her the God who sees me have been watching over you with compassion. When you say it, you are breaking the lie that told you no one cared. You are rejecting the feeling of insignificance that the enemy tried to wrap around your identity. "I am seen" becomes your armor against loneliness. It's your way of saying, I am known, I am valued, I am remembered. Heaven has not forgotten the sound of your prayers. "I am seen" reminds you that your quiet obedience matters. The times you gave when no one knew, the moments you forgave without receiving apology, God noticed. The secret faith that no one applauded has been stored in heaven's archives as eternal honor. Every time you declare, "I am seen," you awaken courage inside your spirit. It tells your heart to keep believing, to keep showing kindness, to keep walking with integrity. Because the one who watches in secret is preparing to reward you openly. So write it again, not as a comment for attention, but as a covenant of awareness. "I am seen." You are standing under heaven's gaze, chosen, remembered, and marked for divine recognition. Your story is being told before angels right now, and it begins with these 3 words. When you whisper, "I am seen," it becomes a bridge between your past pain and your future promise. Those words carry healing. They tell the broken parts of you that nothing was ever overlooked, that every hidden act of faith has divine purpose. Let it echo within you, "I am seen." This is not just comfort, it is prophecy. Heaven's attention means heaven's reward. The same eyes that saw your suffering are now preparing your season of recognition and restoration. There was a time when God's silence pierced you deeper than any rejection. You asked questions that seemed to bounce off the walls of heaven. Did I do something wrong? Did you leave me? You waited for answers that never came. And the waiting felt endless. Yet what you didn't understand was that this silence was sacred. It wasn't absence, it was examination. When heaven goes quiet, it's not because you are forgotten, it's because your faith is being refined in stillness. When teachers give tests, they do not speak. The silence in your spirit was the same. It was the divine classroom where your endurance was measured and your heart was weighed. You were not being ignored. You were being trusted with a moment few can bear. The creator of the universe was watching to see if your love would remain when all emotion faded, when the music stopped, when the comfort disappeared. And still, you prayed. Still, you waited. Still, you loved him. That is what made the silence holy. You stayed even when you didn't feel his touch. That was not weakness, that was worship. Many speak about faith when the voice of God is loud, but true faith is born in the quiet. It grows where noise dies and trust must take over. The word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 50, verse 10, "Let the one who walks in the dark, who has no light, trust in the name of the Lord and rely on their God." Those words are your testimony. You walked in darkness, yet you kept walking. You didn't see the road ahead, but you refused to turn back. Heaven looked upon that and called it maturity. You see, silence is the sound of God shifting things beneath the surface. While you thought nothing was happening, he was building your roots deeper, anchoring your faith so storms could no longer uproot you. You may not have realized it, but the quietness of God was the proof of your progress. The silence only comes to those who have grown enough to stand without constant reassurance. It's not distance, it's graduation. God was saying, "You know my voice. You know my ways. Now walk in what I've already spoken." That's why he didn't repeat himself. He had already equipped you. The moments when you felt abandoned were the very moments he was closest. The stillness you felt was his shadow covering you as he worked behind the scenes. Sometimes God hides not to hurt you, but to strengthen you. He pulls back his felt presence so you can learn to follow his character instead of your emotions. In the silence, your heart learned something words could never teach, that love remains. Even when it doesn't receive immediate affirmation. You learned that faith is not a feeling, it's a choice. You learned that worship is not noise, it's posture. And through that sacred quiet, heaven carved patience into your soul. It was in that hidden place where your confidence was rebuilt, not in circumstances, but in Christ. The silence trained you to stop chasing signs and start trusting substance. It stripped away every dependency until only one truth remained: God is good, even when I cannot hear him. Now, when you enter another season of stillness, it won't shake you as it once did. You'll remember this silence and smile, because you'll know what it means. It means God is once again preparing something too great to explain. It means he is inviting you into depth, into maturity, into rest. The quiet of heaven is never empty. It's filled with activity you cannot yet perceive. Angels move without sound. Seeds sprout underground before they break through the soil. The promise grows in darkness before it shines in light. That is how God works, quietly, steadily, faithfully. So if you find yourself in another silent stretch, do not panic. Do not assume he's gone. He's working in stealth, like a sculptor shaping a masterpiece under the cloth. You'll see it soon. You'll look back and realize that what felt like absence was actually divine focus. You didn't fail in the silence. You flourished. Heaven's pause was proof of heaven's trust. And now that season has birthed something priceless inside you, a still, unshakable faith that no storm can silence again. The silence was your training ground. Now you recognize that God's quiet is never cruel, it's intentional. He withholds sound so your spirit can learn to hear beyond noise, to sense His movement, to trust His unseen hand. When you couldn't hear Him, He was teaching you to know Him. Love matured in the hush. Faith deepened in the waiting. And peace replaced the panic of not knowing. The silence made you strong. So, now, when heaven pauses again, you will not fear. You'll rest in the stillness, knowing divine work is unfolding beneath it. Silence no longer signals distance, it confirms destiny. There were moments when you felt like love itself was slipping through your fingers. The pain, the silence, the disappointments, they all tried to convince you that your devotion didn't matter. But heaven saw how your heart refused to quit. That stubborn, quiet love inside you, unshaken by storms, became the fragrance that reached the throne of God. You see, real love isn't proven in celebration, it's proven in emptiness. When you chose to keep loving God without visible reward, you passed a test many never reach. That's why heaven has begun to move around you now. You didn't just survive, you stayed pure. You stayed kind. And you stayed faithful. That's love that refused to break. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 37, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind." That verse isn't just a command, it's a heartbeat. It's the rhythm your soul learned to live by. You loved through heartbreak. You loved when it didn't make sense. You loved when you were tired of trying. That kind of love doesn't go unnoticed. Heaven rewards it, multiplies it, and turns it into light for others still walking through the dark. There is something sacred about the way you loved through pain. When others would have turned away, you stayed. When others demanded answers, you simply whispered, "I trust you." That is what separated you from the crowd. That's why angels whisper your name with reverence, because your love held when everything else fell. And now, your heart is ready for the next chapter. God isn't just going to restore what you lost, He's going to enlarge your influence. The same compassion that kept you from hardening will now flow through you to heal others. Your story will become oil for those who are dry. Every yes you've spoken to God in private is about to echo publicly. And as this message reaches you, know that you are part of something bigger than yourself, a movement of chosen hearts around the world who refuse to let their love die. That's why messages like this exist. Every video, every word, every prayer poured into your feed is a light from the same fire that once tried to burn you. But keeping this light shining takes more than one voice. It takes a family of faith standing together. If this message has stirred your spirit, gently help the flame travel further. Click like. Share this word with someone still standing in their storm. And subscribe so you never miss the next breath of hope. And if your heart feels led, become part of the oil that keeps this lamp burning. You can sow a seed, not out of pressure, but out of love, a gift as simple as a drop of oil that helps the fire of encouragement reach another soul in darkness. It is never about amount, it's about heart. Every act of support, whether a comment, a share, or a quiet donation, is another spark, keeping this sanctuary of words alive. The same God who multiplied a boy's small lunch still multiplies small acts of generosity. So, Take a breath and listen to your heart. If you feel peace, let that be your sign. Click, share, or give only as your spirit desires, freely, joyfully, like a candle lighting another without losing its own flame. Because love that refused to break is the love that now builds. You've carried the fire faithfully, now help it shine beyond you. Your journey, your endurance, your faith, they are all living proof that heaven still works through hearts willing to love. Even when love costs everything, you have become a living flame, one that burns without demanding recognition. The same fire that once purified you now lights paths for others. Every word you speak in truth, every act of kindness you offer it, all becomes another spark in the great constellation of heaven's love upon the earth. So when you share this light, remember, you are not giving something away, you are multiplying it. The flame never loses strength by lighting another candle. It only grows brighter. In this way, love continues, rippling quietly through lives you may never meet, hearts you may never know, and in time, the seeds of your generosity will bloom in unexpected ways. The comfort you sow today will return to you in tomorrow's peace. You will find that the more you pour out, the fuller your own cup becomes. For love never runs empty in the hands of the faithful. You have learned the mystery: giving is not losing, and silence is not absence. What you release in love becomes eternal. Heaven watches, records, and remembers. The story of your endurance will be told in other souls who find courage because of you. That is your true reward. The divine report is in heaven has spoken. The record of your faithfulness stands written in eternal ink. You have been weighed, tested, and proven. You didn't break under pressure, you blossomed. Every unseen prayer, every quiet act of obedience, every tear you offered in secret has been gathered like pearls before the throne. And now, heaven stamps your name under one word: faithful. You may not have heard it audibly, but the spiritual realm just shifted in your favor. The season of evaluation is ending, and the season of reward is beginning. Heaven's court has reached its verdict: you passed, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. When others withdrew, you remained. When your emotions collapsed, your spirit stood tall. The Spirit spoke long ago through the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And now, chosen one, that proper time is here. You are about to see evidence of what heaven already knows, that your endurance was not wasted. God's justice does not forget devotion. Every ounce of faith you invested, even when it felt invisible, is now returning multiplied. You see, faithfulness is heaven's currency. Every decision to love instead of lash out, to pray instead of panic, to give instead of withhold it, all became a deposit in your divine account. And now, heaven is releasing the interest. The delay you faced was never denial, it was accumulation. You were being prepared for overflow, not survival. God has been writing your name into new assignments, into open doors, into people who will recognize your worth. The same voice that tested you is now speaking promotion. Where once there was silence, now there is the sound of movement, doors opening, paths clearing, burdens lifting. This is the moment where what was once unseen becomes undeniable. You will soon witness how every hardship had purpose. The loneliness built discernment. The rejection built humility. The waiting built wisdom. All of it was constructing a foundation strong enough to carry your next blessing. Heaven could not reward you earlier because the weight of glory you are stepping into required maturity. Now, that maturity is evident. Do not question your timing, it is perfect. You are arriving at the exact moment written for you before you were born. There is a fragrance of completion around your life now. The test did not destroy you, it polished you. The fire you endured left you radiant. So lift your head. You are not just surviving anymore, you are stepping into the recognition of heaven. Angels are aligning circumstances around you. People you have never met will feel drawn to help you. Opportunities that once seemed distant will begin to seek you out. Because when heaven announces faithful, the earth must respond. And as this moment unfolds, remember, it was never about earning God's love. It was about proving the depth of your devotion. He loved you at the start. The test simply revealed how much you love him back. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, comment 555 below, not as superstition, but as a declaration. 5 is the number of grace, and heaven is now pouring multiplied grace over your life. When you write it, you're saying, I receive the report of heaven, I am faithful, and I am ready. Let that simple act be your amen, your signature on what God has already sealed. You don't need to strive anymore, you only need to receive. Your love has passed through testing. Your heart has been found genuine, and your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. The divine report stands complete, faithful. When you write 555, you are not typing numbers, you are releasing a spiritual declaration. It's your way of saying, grace has found me. Heaven recognizes symbols of faith, and this one carries the essence of divine favor multiplied. Each 5 represents a layer of grace, 1 for forgiveness, 1 for restoration, 1 for renewal, 1 for purpose, and 1 for abundance. When you comment it, you're not trying to earn blessing, you're acknowledging that grace is already here, overflowing into every dry place of your life. 555 means the test is complete. The door is open, and the pressure has turned to promotion. You are stepping into a realm where effort gives way to ease, where what once resisted you now welcomes you. It is heaven's way of whispering, rest, my faithful one, for I have seen your love. So type it not out of routine, but out of revelation. Let your spirit speak through your fingers. 555, grace upon grace upon grace. Each repetition is an echo of heaven's song over you, a reminder that your story is covered by mercy. And as you release it, feel peace rise inside. This is your confirmation that the divine report stands true. You are not waiting for grace, you are walking in it. Heaven has declared you faithful, and your 555 seals the testimony. There is a moment in every chosen one's life when the unseen finally becomes visible, when everything you carried in silence begins to bloom for all to see. This is that moment. The seeds of obedience you buried with tears are breaking through the soil. The ground that once felt hard and unyielding is now breathing life. Heaven is honoring your endurance, and what was once private pain is turning into public vindication. For so long, you were hidden not because you were forgotten, but because you were being preserved. God kept you out of sight while He shaped your roots, while He deepened your wisdom, while He taught you to depend on Him and not on applause. You were the seed under the soil. No one could see the transformation. Yet it was happening every day in secret. The crushing, the pressing, the stretching, all of it was preparation for this moment of emergence. The Word of God reminds us through the book of Psalms, chapter 126, verse 5, "Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy." Those words have been written across your journey. Every tear that fell in surrender has watered the harvest now rising before you. You didn't realize it then, but your sorrow was sacred soil. Each pain planted something eternal within you. Your tears were never wasted, they were divine irrigation. You are now walking into the season of recognition. Heaven is turning hidden faith into visible fruit. The very areas of your life that once seemed barren are being revived. Relationships are being healed. Opportunities are returning, and promises are unfolding. The same God who saw you in the midnight hour is now displaying your dawn. This is not about pride or performance, it's about God showing that His promises never fail. Vindication is not vengeance, it's revelation. It's heaven saying, "See, this one never gave up on me." The tables are turning, not so you can boast, but so the world can witness what faith under fire produces. You carried faith when it was heavy. You praised when your voice trembled. You chose love when bitterness was easier. And now, heaven is echoing back every hidden yes. This is divine recognition, where obedience becomes evidence and faith becomes favor. Don't be surprised if people who once doubted you begin to respect you. Don't be alarmed when doors suddenly open with ease. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is validating your hidden obedience. God is saying, "I saw you when no one else did." Think of Joseph, who was forgotten in a prison but remembered in a palace. Think of Ruth, who gathered scraps in fields but became part of the lineage of kings. Their waiting was not wasted. Neither was yours. Heaven always repays devotion in its own time. And when recognition comes, humility must stay your anchor. For the same hand that lifts you is the hand that shaped you. Remember where the strength came from. Remember who sustained you when no one else believed in you. The spotlight of heaven is gentle. It doesn't burn, it blesses. But it shines best on those who reflect glory, not absorb it. Let your recognition become revelation for others. When they ask, "How did you make it through?" let your answer point upward. Tell them it was grace, not strategy. Tell them it was prayer, not power. Tell them it was faith, not fortune. In doing so, your story becomes a bridge for others who still think their silence is punishment, not preparation. And know this, the same God who elevated you will sustain you. This new chapter isn't a finish line, it's a beginning. Heaven's recognition isn't the end of your journey. It's an invitation to deeper partnership with God. You've proven trustworthy with little, now you'll be trusted with more. The harvest is here. You can feel it in the air, the shift, the peace, the quiet assurance that something has changed. You've entered a divine rhythm now, one where effort aligns with grace, and timing aligns with purpose. The doors that open will not require you to push. They will simply respond to your presence because heaven has authorized it. The world will call it luck, but you will know it was prophecy fulfilled. You will walk in rooms that once felt impossible, not because you chased them, but because they were assigned to you. That's what divine recognition does. It locates the faithful and elevates them without striving. So, step forward, gently, with gratitude and confidence. You are not the same soul who entered the test. You have been refined, strengthened, and crowned with humility. And now, your light shines not to glorify you, but to reflect the one who saw you through the darkness. The season of being hidden has ended. The song of your life is changing from lament to laughter, from sorrow to celebration. Heaven has called your name, and the earth will echo it in awe. There is a holy stillness that fills the air when heaven begins to pour out reward. It is not loud. It does not arrive with the noise of crowds or the clamor of applause. It comes like oil, slow, steady, sacred. You feel it before you see it. The atmosphere shifts, the heaviness lifts, and suddenly everything begins to make sense. This is that moment for you, the beginning of the crown ceremony in heaven's time. You do not earn this crown by victory over others, but by victory over yourself. It is the crown of endurance, of love that refused to die, of faith that refused to fade. Heaven places it gently upon your spirit, not as a decoration, but as recognition. You passed through the fire and did not lose your light. You walked through the valley and still carried worship in your mouth. You forgave when you could have fought back. That is royal character. That is divine nobility. We find in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." That is the promise now unfolding over you. This is heaven's coronation moment, not a public event, but a spiritual reality. God is placing invisible authority upon you, and with it, new responsibility. The same way kings were anointed in secret before they ruled in public. You are being anointed right now. You may not feel oil on your forehead, but your soul knows it's there. The crown is not made of gold, it's made of testimony. Every hardship, every wound, every night you chose to praise through pain has become a jewel in that crown. The angels call it the reward of the faithful. The demons call it the one who cannot be broken. The earth will soon call it the hand of God. There is something weightless yet powerful about divine reward. It doesn't inflate you, it grounds you. It doesn't make you proud, it makes you peaceful. Because when you finally understand that everything you endured had meaning, your heart rests. The need to prove yourself fades. The anxiety to be seen dissolves. You realize heaven has already seen, already recorded, already responded. Now, you begin to carry authority without aggression, power without pride. People will sense something different when they speak with you, not the noise of ambition, but the calm of assurance. This is what it means to wear heaven's crown. It's not about control, it's about compassion. It's the weight of wisdom that comes only through weeping, the patience learned through pain, the humility that triumphs over ego. Heaven's crown is quiet, yet it speaks. It whispers to darkness. This one cannot be shaken anymore. It tells storms. You can roar, but you cannot drown them. It tells temptation. You can call, but they no longer answer. This crown is more than honor, it's immunity. The things that once broke you no longer have permission to. You have outgrown old battles. And with that growth comes new grace. You will find that decisions are easier now. Your discernment has sharpened. You will hear God's voice with greater clarity because you've learned to listen through silence. You will move with divine precision because you've been trained by waiting. Every delay refined your instincts. Every hardship deepened your roots. The oil of anointing that drips from your spiritual crown doesn't just bless you, it spills over. Those around you will begin to feel peace in your presence. Your words will carry healing without you forcing them. Your touch will carry comfort that cannot be explained. This is what happens when heaven honors endurance. It turns survivors into healers. So walk gently in this new season. You no longer need to chase what belongs to you. It will find you. The crown attracts alignment, opportunities, resources, and people connected to your destiny will begin to recognize the mark upon you. You won't have to shout, your spirit will speak. And remember, this crown isn't temporary. It's eternal. It's the same reward promised to those who loved him more than comfort, who trusted when they couldn't trace him. It's the same crown Paul saw when he said, "There is laid up for me a crown of righteousness." That same promise now rests on your life. Wear it with humility. Carry it with reverence. Let it remind you that glory always follows grief, that oil always follows obedience, and that no suffering endured for love is ever wasted. You are walking proof that heaven rewards those who refuse to quit. The crown ceremony is not coming, it has already begun. Heaven applauds in silence, while the earth prepares to witness what endurance looks like when it's crowned with grace. You can feel it now, the air shifting, the rhythm of your days changing. What was locked is unlocking. The spiritual atmosphere around you hums with momentum because the words heaven once whispered over you are beginning to manifest in the physical. The promises you held by faith are coming into motion. The things you saw in visions are approaching fulfillment. You are walking in prophetic confirmation. It's as if invisible hands are rearranging your surroundings to match the destiny written over your name. You begin to notice divine coincidences, doors opening at the right time, people appearing who carry answers, ideas blooming in places once barren. None of it is random. This is confirmation in motion. The unseen realm is aligning itself to what heaven has already decreed about you. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, second letter, chapter 1, verse 20, "For no matter how many promises God has made, they are yes in Christ. And so through him, the Amen is spoken by us to the glory of God." That's what is happening right now. Heaven has said yes. And your life is about to echo the Amen. Every act of faith, every refusal to give up, every prayer that seemed unanswered was a setup for this season of confirmation. Sometimes prophetic fulfillment doesn't arrive in lightning, it arrives in whispers. It unfolds in gentle changes, in the peace that replaces confusion, in the clarity that quiets old fears. You don't need to force it. Just stay aligned. You are already in motion. The same God who called light out of darkness is now calling order out of your chaos. Things that didn't fit before will suddenly find their place. People who misunderstood you will start to see you differently. Old misunderstandings will dissolve. The path ahead is becoming clear, not because you demanded it, but because you waited long enough for heaven to finish its design. There's no need to strive. This confirmation is not the result of hustle, it's the result of harmony. You have come into rhythm with God's timing. What once required struggle will now flow. You'll begin to see evidence of what your spirit already knew. You are in divine motion. And as this motion increases, keep your heart quiet. Don't rush to announce everything. Let confirmation speak for itself. The fruit will reveal what the seed carried. People will notice the shift without you having to explain it. The favor will do the talking. Every time something aligns, whisper a thank you. Every time peace replaces panic, recognize it as proof. Every time an obstacle moves, know that heaven has touched it. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Your journey is no longer about survival, it's about synchronization. You are walking in step with grace now. And grace doesn't stumble. Grace glides. Grace gathers. Grace governs. You'll soon realize that the waiting didn't delay you. It positioned you. The closed doors protected you from misaligned seasons. The silence trained your sensitivity. And now, everything you learned in the wilderness becomes your compass in this season of motion. When confirmation comes, it doesn't shout, it hums softly through every part of your being, letting you know that God is still the author, still the director, still faithful to complete what he began. You don't need to chase signs anymore. Signs are following you. So let your spirit agree with heaven right now. Say with your whole heart, not out of fear, but out of faith, comment, it is done. Write it not because you hope it will be true, but because you know it already is. When you declare, it is done, you join heaven's echo. You're not asking for confirmation, you're agreeing with it. You're saying, I see the shift. I trust the plan. I align with divine motion. And as you do, the unseen will keep unfolding, quietly and completely, until every promise spoken over your life stands visible before your eyes. When you write, it is done, you're not just typing a phrase, you're declaring completion. You're saying that what God began in secret is now being revealed in sight. Those 3 words carry the sound of faith matured, of trust that no longer trembles, of surrender that finally feels safe. It is done means you are stepping out of striving and into stillness. You no longer beg for what has already been written in your favor. You simply agree with heaven's timeline. You are releasing control, laying down worry, and letting God's yes echo through your amen. Each time you declare it, you remind your heart that the waiting was not wasted. The promise didn't die, it developed. The answer didn't vanish, it matured. It is done becomes your seal of peace. Your reminder that destiny does not demand panic, it only asks for alignment. So let your soul rest in those words. Whisper them with confidence, it is done. And as you do, heaven smiles. For faith has spoken. The spiritual motion around you continues quietly, completing what love, patience, and endurance have already secured. You have reached the point where heaven's silence has turned into sound, where whispers of destiny have become melodies of fulfillment. The atmosphere around your life is different now. You can feel it when you wake up, when you breathe, when you pray. There is a softness to the air, a sense that the battle you once fought in the dark is finally over. The enemy's assignment failed, and heaven's plan has prevailed. Everything that tried to destroy your trust has instead revealed your unbreakable bond with God. The lies that once surrounded you have lost their power, because truth has taken root. The storms that once terrified you have now become testimonies you will share with quiet authority. You no longer speak from theory, you speak from experience. You are living proof that what the enemy meant for evil, God has turned for good. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 37, declare, "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." That is your reality now. You are not barely surviving, you are conquering through love. You stand not as a wounded soldier, but as a crowned victor. The battlefield that once brought you to your knees is now the ground of your triumph. Every scar on your heart has become a signature of grace. But even as you stand victorious, remember, this is not the end of your story. Victory carries responsibility. The same grace that sustained you now asks to flow through you. You are called to be a vessel of light, a bridge of compassion, a voice of hope for those still trapped in their storms. The message you are hearing now, this flow of words, this breath of comfort exists so that your story can continue healing others. What once tried to break you is now helping someone else stand. But like every flame, this message stays alive only when hearts choose to share it forward. If these words have touched your spirit, gently help them travel. Imagine this message as a lantern carried through a dark valley. Each light becomes a spark that keeps its flame alive. Each share another hand, lifting that lantern higher so others can see. When you subscribe, you become a keeper of the light. You aren't just following a channel, you are joining a movement of endurance. A gathering of hearts that have chosen hope over fear. Your presence keeps the oil flowing, so no light ever fades out for lack of faith. And if your heart feels moved beyond that to give, to sow, to offer what you can do, it not out of pressure, but out of peace. Picture it this way, somewhere out there. Another soul is sitting in silence, scrolling through darkness, waiting for a word like this. Your act of generosity becomes the unseen bridge that carries that message to them. Giving is not a transaction, it's transformation. It's like planting a tree whose shade you may never sit under, yet knowing that someone else will rest there. Your donation, no matter how small, becomes the oil that keeps the lamp burning, the drop of rain that helps the seed of hope grow. You don't give because you're asked, you give because you remember. You remember what it felt like when a message found you at your lowest. You remember the warmth that wrapped around you when you realized God still spoke your name. That memory is sacred, and when you give, you pass it forward. And know this, heaven always multiplies what is given in love. Whether it's a share, a word, or a seed, God takes it, breathes on it, and sends it back multiplied in grace. You can't outgive light, because light always finds its way back home. So, if this message rests gently on your heart, don't rush. Take a quiet breath. Let your spirit guide your response. If you feel led, like, share, subscribe, or give as your heart desires. There is no pressure, no demand, only invitation. This is a sanctuary built on willing hearts. You are part of that sanctuary now. Every act of kindness, every silent prayer, every offering of support becomes another brick in this temple of words where souls are restored. Together, we make sure that no chosen one ever walks alone in darkness again. Because the victory you've just stepped into was never meant to end with you. It was meant to flow through you. So, let your light shine quietly, freely, beautifully. Love brought you here, and love will carry this message further than you can imagine. And remember, every time you choose to lift another, heaven lifts you higher. Every time you give from a willing heart, you echo God's generosity. The fire that once tested you now burns in your hands, not to destroy, but to warm the world. Your victory is not for display, it's for distribution. And as long as your heart remains open, the flow of heaven will never stop. There is a quiet reward that follows endurance, one that doesn't shout, doesn't sparkle, and yet transforms everything it touches. It's called peace. It arrives not with fanfare, but with a sigh. The kind that comes after a long battle has finally ended. You know this peace now. It settles into your bones like gentle light through morning mist. You no longer feel the panic of needing to prove yourself or the weight of waiting for validation. The struggle that once consumed you has been replaced by stillness. That stillness is not emptiness, it is fulfillment. It's the sacred awareness that your love was seen. Your faith was not in vain, and your journey mattered. Every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every act of forgiveness that cost you tears, they all carried you here. You are standing in the aftermath of obedience, where the soul finally breathes. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's exactly what you did. You trusted beyond reason, beyond evidence, beyond what anyone else could see. And because of that, God is now unfolding promises that needed this level of maturity to handle. Sometimes He delays the blessing until your hands are steady enough to hold it without trembling. Now, your hands are steady. Look around you. The world hasn't changed much, yet somehow everything feels different. That's because peace doesn't always alter your surroundings, it alters you. You used to react to storms, now you rest through them. You used to beg for clarity, now you walk in confidence even when you can't see the next step. That is what divine love produces, a quiet authority that no chaos can overthrow. You may not realize it, but your peace has become your power. It unsettles darkness because darkness thrives on fear, and you no longer live there. You are anchored. You've discovered what it means to stand still and know that He is God. Every attack that once caused you to panic now only proves that you have grown beyond reach. You fight differently now, with silence, with surrender, with calm. This peace doesn't mean life will be free of storms. It means storms will no longer define you. They may roar, but you remain rooted. They may shake the world around you, but not the world within you. The same heart that once broke under pressure now beats in rhythm with eternity. That is strength disguised as serenity. There is beauty in how God redeems pain. He never wastes a wound. The cracks in your heart became channels for His light. What once felt like loss is now revelation. You see differently. You love differently. You speak differently. You carry the fragrance of someone who has walked through fire and found grace waiting on the other side. This is the harvest of relentless love. It's not about wealth or fame or recognition. It's about becoming whole. You have gained something money cannot buy and time cannot erode, an unshakable awareness of God's presence in every breath. That's why peace feels so profound. It's the proof that heaven dwells within you. You'll notice now that your prayers sound different. They're less about asking and more about adoring. Less about needing and more about knowing. You pray with gratitude, not anxiety. You intercede with compassion, not exhaustion. The waiting no longer feels heavy, it feels holy. because you understand now that every delay had purpose. Every silence was love in disguise. Even your relationships will begin to shift under the weight of this new peace. People drawn to chaos will drift away, and those carrying calm will find you. It's not rejection, it's realignment. God is surrounding you with those who mirror the peace He's placed within you. You no longer have to chase belonging. Belonging will recognize you. So, rest in this season. You've earned it through surrender. The tests that once defined you have now refined you. You are no longer who you were before the storm. You are lighter, clearer, freer. You've traded striving for serenity, confusion for clarity, fear for faith. And as you move forward, carry this truth with you. Peace is not the absence of battle, it's the presence of victory. You're not escaping life, you're embodying it at its highest form. You are walking proof that those who trust in the Lord never fall, they rise. Quietly, consistently, gloriously. This is the reward of relentless love, not noise, not trophies, but tranquility. Heaven has called your name, not to test you this time, but to rest you. Peace has now become your inheritance. It flows through you like a gentle river, steady and sure, reminding you that rest is also a form of worship. Carry it softly wherever you go. Let your calm speak louder than arguments. Your stillness heal more than words ever could. You are peace walking. The season has shifted once again. You can sense it. The air feels lighter. The sky somehow closer. It's as if heaven has opened a new window above your life, and blessings are beginning to pour through. This is what Scripture calls an open heaven, the moment when the prayers you sowed in tears begin to return as waves of favor. The drought is over. Rain is coming. For years, you lived by faith when you couldn't see fruit. You watered barren soil with your hope. You spoke promises over empty places. But now, the clouds that once carried thunder are carrying rain. You are about to see in days what you prayed for in years. The Word of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of His bounty, to send rain on your land in season and to bless all the work of your hands." That word is breathing over your life right now. You are standing under divine drizzle, the early signs of breakthrough. Things you once chased will begin to find you. Doors that were jammed shut will unlock with ease. The work of your hands will flourish because heaven itself is endorsing your assignment. But remember, open heavens are not only about receiving, they are about responsibility. When God pours, He expects vessels ready to overflow. You are one of those vessels. What He gives you now isn't just for you, it's meant to flow through you. Favor becomes purpose when it reaches others. You will notice divine acceleration. What used to take months will take moments. What once demanded effort will unfold through grace. This isn't luck, it's divine timing. Heaven's rhythm is aligning perfectly with your obedience. You waited through the wilderness, and now you're walking into the waterfall. But even in blessing, stay humble. Keep your heart soft. The same rain that nourishes crops can flood the careless. Handle this season with reverence. Let gratitude become your posture and generosity your reflex. God's favor is not a trophy to display, it's a tool to build. Think of it this way, your life is a field, and God is sending abundant rain. The harvest will not come to prove your worth, it will come to fulfill your purpose. The more you give from what He pours, the more He'll continue to rain. Heaven loves circulation, not stagnation. And if your heart feels that subtle trembling now, that quiet awareness that this word is for you, it's because the window above your life has already opened. You're not waiting for permission anymore. It's already granted. You can feel it in your spirit. The dryness is ending. This new season will be marked by ease. That doesn't mean no effort. It means alignment. Your actions will finally meet divine momentum. You'll do what you've always done: pray, work, love, but now the results will multiply. Grace has entered the equation. As you stand under this open heaven, acknowledge what it means. God has trusted you with increase. You were faithful with the little. Now He can trust you with more. You carried your cross in private. Now He hands you a crown in public. But remember, the crown is not for comfort. It's for calling. So, take a moment, breathe deeply, and receive what heaven is pouring. Let your soul say yes to the rain. Let peace replace striving. Let gratitude rise higher than anxiety. You've stepped into a new atmosphere, one of overflow, one of acceleration, one of divine assurance. And as a prophetic sign of your agreement with this open heaven, comment 444 below. 4 is the number of divine order: north, south, east, west, the completeness of direction. When you write 444, you're saying, God, align every corner of my life with your will. Let your rain fall evenly over every area: relationships, health, purpose, and provision. Write it as a covenant, not a code. Let those numbers carry meaning: heaven's order, heaven's covering, heaven's completion. When you type 444, you're standing beneath the open sky of favor and saying, let it rain. This is your season of open heaven. The waiting is over. The window is open, and the rain has begun to fall. When you write 444, you are not typing digits, you are marking divine symmetry. It's your way of saying, God, bring my world into perfect alignment. Heaven understands the language of numbers. Each 4 speaks of balance, direction, and divine completion. 444 declares that nothing in your life is random anymore. Every path, every door, every detail is coming under heavenly order. It's a prayer turned into a symbol, a whisper turned into an agreement. By writing it, you acknowledge the storm is over, and structure has begun. So, type it with intention, 444, and let it be your spiritual compass. It means you are ready for the rain to fall in the right places, at the right time, for the right reasons. It is alignment made visible. There is a sacred stillness that always follows divine rain. It's that hush after the storm, when the air feels cleaner, the ground softer, and the world somehow new. That is where you stand now, between what was and what is becoming. The scent of promise lingers around you. Heaven has poured, and now the earth responds. Growth is happening quietly, unseen but unstoppable. You may not yet see the full picture, but something is changing beneath the surface. Roots are strengthening, doors are preparing to open, and new paths are forming where none existed before. The blessings you prayed for are not just arriving, they are organizing themselves into a pattern of purpose. Everything has meaning now. As the prophet wrote in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3, They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. That is what you have become, an oak of righteousness. Once fragile, now firm. Once uncertain, now rooted. You are no longer easily swayed by fear or shaken by change. You've learned that storms do not destroy those planted by heaven, they deepen their roots. You have entered a season of divine appointments, moments orchestrated by God long before you ever knew to ask for them. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting people who carry keys to your next chapter. You will speak words that heal without effort. You will walk into rooms that once felt out of reach. None of this is by chance. It is divine scheduling. This is what happens when you walk under heaven's rhythm. Life begins to move with grace instead of strain. You don't have to push doors open. They recognize you and unlock themselves. You don't have to beg for opportunities. Purpose itself invites you forward. That's the quiet confidence of someone who walks with God. You've been promoted spiritually, even if no one has told you yet. Promotion in heaven doesn't always look like titles or applause. It looks like peace, discernment, and authority. You speak differently now because your words carry the weight of someone who has passed through fire and come out refined. This new mantle doesn't shout, it simply glows. People will start to feel something when you enter the room, not intimidation, but comfort. You won't have to prove your calling, your presence will prove it. You are the evidence that endurance produces excellence and that obedience births influence. There will also be new responsibilities. Heaven trusts you with what others mishandled. You will carry revelation meant to guide, not to control. You will hold wisdom meant to protect, not to boast. That's what makes you different. You've learned that leadership is not about being seen, it's about being steady. Be aware. 2. That new appointments bring new stretching. With greater light comes greater sensitivity. You will discern more deeply, feel more intensely, love more purely. It might feel heavy at first, but that's because God is entrusting you with his heart for others. You'll begin to sense burdens that aren't yours to carry forever, but they will lead you to pray, to intercede, to speak life where silence once ruled. Your promotion is not for privilege, it's for purpose. Heaven promotes those who can handle compassion. The crown on your head is balanced by the humility in your heart. That's why God chose you. You don't seek attention, you seek alignment. You don't chase platforms, you chase presence. That's what makes your influence pure. Soon, people will ask you how you stayed faithful. They will come seeking the peace they see in you. When they do, remind them gently, it was all grace. Tell them that pain taught you patience, and patience revealed power. Tell them that God's silence was your school and his timing your teacher. The same grace that carried you will carry them. You are not the same soul that entered the testing ground. You have graduated into authority, quiet, humble, and holy. You walk differently now because you carry heaven's rhythm inside you. You move with purpose, speak with weight, and love without fear. You've become a living reflection of divine consistency. So step into your divine appointments with courage. Walk through new doors with gratitude. Stand where heaven plants you and let your roots hold firm. You don't need to force anything anymore. You are already aligned. The oil of your promotion will draw everything you need toward you. And as you move forward, remember that every moment, every conversation, every opportunity, every meeting is part of heaven's choreography. You are walking in synchronization with divine purpose. And that means nothing will be wasted again. Your new assignment isn't about striving, it's about shining. Not about climbing higher, but about going deeper. This is what divine promotion looks like: quiet confidence, unwavering peace, and a love so steady that even storms bow to it. There comes a moment in every story of faith when the page finally turns, and what was once broken begins to breathe again. This is that moment for you. The season of restoration has arrived, not as a rush of miracles, but as a quiet returning. What was lost is finding its way back. What was delayed is catching up. And what was stolen is being replaced in ways more beautiful than you imagined. Restoration in God's kingdom doesn't mean returning to what was. It means transformation into something greater. When He restores, He doesn't give back the same thing you lost. He multiplies it, purifies it, and infuses it with purpose. You may not even recognize it at first because it comes back upgraded, refined by heaven's touch. We find this promise in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Those words are not poetic, they are prophetic. They are being spoken over you now. The years you thought were wasted are not gone. They were simply planted. Every tear, every detour, every heartbreak has been sown into the soil of destiny. And now the harvest of restoration is rising. You might not see the full picture yet, but heaven is rearranging your life piece by piece. Things you thought had expired are being resurrected. Dreams that went dormant are beginning to stir. Relationships that broke in pain are being healed through grace. Even the parts of your heart that felt permanently closed are softening under the warmth of divine love. This is the rhythm of restoration. It doesn't shout. It hums. It starts quietly, in whispers and gentle nudges. A message appears at the right time. A door reopens. A conversation heals a misunderstanding. These are the fingerprints of God at work. He restores subtly so that your heart can absorb the miracle without shock. The beauty of restoration is that it carries no residue of loss. When God returns something, it doesn't come back with the same pain. It comes back renewed. You'll touch places that once hurt and feel no sting. You'll remember seasons that once broke you and feel only gratitude. That's how you know healing is complete. Look at your life right now. There are clues of restoration everywhere. The peace that rests where panic used to live. The joy that wakes you quietly in the morning. The clarity that replaces confusion. Restoration isn't just about possessions, it's about your posture. You stand taller now. You move lighter. You trust deeper. You've been through enough to know that God's timing is rarely fast, but always flawless. When He restores, He does so with artistry. He paints redemption over the ashes until beauty emerges where sorrow once ruled. That's what He's doing for you now, turning ruins into revelations. And this restoration reaches further than your life alone. The grace flowing through you will touch others. 2. The same comfort that healed you will begin to heal through you. You'll notice that when you speak, your words carry warmth. When you listen, people find peace. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. You are carrying the fragrance of restoration. Sometimes you'll look back at what you lost and realize it was never really loss. It was preparation. God had to empty your hands to fill them with something eternal. He had to remove temporary things so you could recognize what truly lasts. Every subtraction was leading to this addition of wholeness. You are being rebuilt stronger than before, not because you avoided pain, but because you endured it. Restoration doesn't erase the past, it redeems it. It rewrites the story so the parts that once made you cry now make you wise. This is what divine recovery feels like, not loud, but lasting. Not hurried, but holy. The slow return of peace. The gentle rebuilding of trust. The quiet discovery that everything broken was always in God's hands. Soon, the full picture will come together. The things that once scattered will align. The unanswered questions will find closure in the light of understanding. You will see that nothing was wasted, not a single second, not a single tear. Heaven kept every fragment safe until it was time to make you whole again. And when you look around, you'll realize that restoration isn't just something that happened to you, it's something that's happening through you. You've become a vessel of renewal, a living example that even after ruin, beauty is still possible. So, breathe deeply and let gratitude rise. You don't have to chase what's being returned. It's already on its way. Restoration doesn't need your effort, only your openness. Stay tender. Stay expectant. The same God who allowed the breaking has authored the rebuilding. And he never leaves a story unfinished. The pieces are fitting together. The melody is returning. And your life is about to sing again. This is the restoration of a chosen one, and it is glorious. There is a new tenderness unfolding within you, a deeper intimacy between you and your Creator that words can barely hold. This is not the love of first encounters or new beginnings. This is the love that has survived storms. It's the kind of connection that can only come after loss, silence, and restoration. What you share with God now is not fragile, it's eternal. It has been proven by fire and sealed by grace. You are stepping into a divine romance that feels both ancient and new. It's as if heaven itself is wooing your soul, reminding you that you were never merely created to exist, you were created to be loved. Every trial was preparation for this closeness, every unanswered prayer, every lonely night, every heartbreak carved space inside you for something sacred to dwell. As the prophet Hosea once wrote in the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verse 19, I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you in righteousness and justice, in love and compassion. That promise now wraps around you like warmth on a cold morning. You can feel it, heaven's nearness, steady and kind. You no longer chase love, you abide in it. The longing that once exhausted you has been replaced by peace humming quietly in your chest. You have become one who walks with God, not out of fear, but out of familiarity. When love is restored, everything changes. You see differently, breathe differently, give differently. You no longer pray to be rescued, you pray to remain close. You begin to notice God in small moments, the pause between breaths, the softness of light, the laughter of strangers. Everything becomes conversation. Everything feels sacred. And as this love deepens, you begin to sense something else, stirring a desire to share it. Not through preaching or convincing, but through presence. When love overflows, it must move. It becomes like light filtering through cracks, like fragrance released from crushed petals. You don't force it, you simply live it. That's what this space, this sanctuary of words, has always been a reflection of that divine love flowing outward. Every message you've heard here was crafted from that same heartbeat, written not to instruct, but to remind, to whisper what heaven has always said to your spirit: you are seen, you are loved, you belong. If these words have stirred something inside you, let them travel. A simple like becomes a ripple, a small echo of love moving through unseen waters. A share becomes a bridge, carrying warmth to someone scrolling in silence, wondering if heaven still remembers them. When you subscribe, it's like lighting a candle in this shared cathedral. Every flame joins another, and soon the darkness fades under the glow of many small, faithful lights. And if your heart feels a quiet nudge to give, to sow, to offer a seed, let it be like planting a flower where someone else will one day find beauty. You are not paying for a message, you are watering the soil of encouragement so that no one ever walks through their storm alone. Donations are not obligations, they are offerings of gratitude. Each gift, no matter how small, becomes a petal in the bouquet of hope that God uses to touch lives. And if something within you feels moved, leave a few words below. Your comment is like a heartbeat joining this living prayer. Write what this message stirred in you, not for recognition, but as a light for someone scrolling in the dark to see and whisper, I'm not alone. If you feel peace, let it guide you. If you feel warmth, follow it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, or give only as your spirit desires. Let your response be an act of worship, not duty, because this entire journey, these messages, this connection has always been a dance of love between you and God. Every time you extend that love outward, you join the rhythm. You become part of the melody heaven is singing over the world right now. So, let your actions be poetry. Let your kindness echo. Let your generosity become art. Whether it's a word, a share, a quiet gift, or a prayer whispered in passing, each one is a brushstroke painting light into the darkness. And when you give like rain freely, joyfully, without measure. For the same love that flows through you will always flow back to you, multiplied in peace, in grace, in quiet joy. You are part of something eternal now, a living symphony of hearts learning to love again. Keep that flame alive. Let the music continue. Every time you choose to give, to share, to support, to speak kindness, you are writing another verse in heaven's love song. Your heart has become a hymn that heaven recognizes. Every act of love you release joins the divine chorus, turning your story into living worship that never fades. Keep moving in that rhythm. Let grace be your melody and kindness your refrain. For love expressed is love eternal, echoing through time. There is a quiet authority that rests upon those who have endured divine testing and remained faithful. You have become one of them. Heaven does not hand out crowns for comfort. It entrusts them to those who have walked through fire and still chosen love. Now that your love has been proven, heaven commissions you for purpose. This is the moment where your personal journey turns outward, where your victory becomes a map for others still lost in the wilderness you once knew so well. Your story was never meant to stay in silence. Every scar you carry now carries language, holy language, that the broken can understand. God will begin to send people into your life who are walking through what you have already overcome. They won't need sermons, they'll need presence. They won't need advice, they'll need understanding. And you, chosen one, will recognize their pain before they even speak, because it will echo something you've already healed from. Heaven speaks clearly through the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. That verse has now become your identity. You are no longer the one seeking light, you have become it. God's glory reflects through your life not as perfection, but as perseverance. The same light that comforted you in your night season now shines through you to guide others home. Leadership in God's kingdom is never about position, it's about posture. To lead is to kneel, to listen, to lift. You have been trained in humility, and that humility has become your greatest strength. You now carry authority that doesn't dominate but liberates. When you speak, people will feel peace, not pressure. When you act, they will sense grace, not control. That is the fragrance of divine commissioning, the balance of power and compassion. As heaven assigns you to new territories, remember how you got here: through surrender. You did not climb into calling, you yielded into it. Every yes whispered in secret has built this platform of purpose. You have proven trustworthy with pain. And now God trusts you with people. You'll see them coming quietly, drawn not by charisma, but by the Spirit of truth resting on you. These will be your marching orders: love deeply, guide gently, protect faithfully, and lead courageously. You are not just a messenger, you are a living testimony. When others are tempted to quit, your endurance will remind them that victory is possible. When they feel unseen, your compassion will remind them that God watches over every tear. You won't need to chase opportunities, they will recognize your light. Heaven's system operates by recognition, not competition. The moment your heart aligned with obedience, your name was registered in heaven's network of influence. Now, doors will open, not for fame, but for impact. But remember, with greater assignment comes greater stewardship. Guard your peace. Protect your purity. Stay grounded in gratitude. You are being trusted with spiritual authority, and that authority is sustained only by intimacy with God. The oil that fuels your influence comes from private worship, not public recognition. Do not fear the weight of responsibility. The same grace that called you will carry you. Every divine mission begins with trembling, but ends in transformation. You will soon look back and realize that what felt like an ending was actually an ordination. The tests were not random, they were rehearsals for leadership. The world needs what you've learned in pain, compassion with conviction, strength without hardness, faith without arrogance. You have become the kind of leader heaven loves, one who walks softly yet leaves footprints of fire. Your words will begin to carry healing. Sometimes a single sentence spoken in love will do more than hours of explanation. That's because the anointing on your life has been purified. You've learned that less is more. That silence often speaks louder than noise. You are heaven's ambassador now. Wherever you go, you represent the heart of the one who restored you. You carry his patience, his mercy, his wisdom. You may not always realize it, but others will feel it. The same peace that God gave you will now flow through you as a river of comfort to many. These are your marching orders for this new era. Move with love, walk with wisdom, and speak with power wrapped in gentleness. Heaven will confirm your steps. Divine connections will form naturally. Provision will follow purpose. And though your journey will continue to challenge you, it will never again break you. You've been tempered. You've been trained. You've been trusted. That is why heaven now calls you not just chosen, but commissioned. This is your moment of divine appointment. Step forward with confidence, not because you are ready, but because grace is. You are not carrying this assignment alone. The same God who tested your love will empower your leadership. Every step you take from this point forward is holy ground. You have your orders. You have your crown. You have your light. Now go forth strong, humble, and aflame. And now, the circle closes. The test that began in confusion ends in clarity. Heaven has recorded your endurance, your tears, your love, your loyalty, and the final page of this chapter bears a single word written in light: completed. The test is finished. The trial fulfilled. The lesson mastered. What once felt endless now reveals its purpose. You were never being broken. You were being built. You stand now at the edge of everything that tried to destroy you. The same ground that once trembled under your pain now holds the roots of your strength. You no longer look like what you went through. The storms that bent you could not uproot you. The fire that burned others only refined your gold. You have emerged as proof that divine love is stronger than suffering, as was spoken in the sacred book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. Hold fast what you have, that no one may take your crown. That crown is not just a symbol of victory, it is the visible evidence of invisible faith. You didn't win this crown by fighting others. You won it by refusing to stop loving when it hurt the most. You earned it not through perfection, but through perseverance. Every test you passed whispered your name into eternity. Now, heaven celebrates quietly. Angels remember the nights they stood beside you as you wept. The Spirit remembers the prayers you could not form into words. God Himself smiles because the love He placed inside you did not return void. It grew. It multiplied. It conquered. Completion does not mean the end of movement. It means the beginning of mastery. You no longer walk as a student of pain, but as a teacher of grace. The wisdom that once came at a cost now flows naturally from you. You carry revelation like breath, effortlessly. Where others see chaos, you see patterns. Where they see endings, you see evolution. That is what happens when heaven finishes its work inside a soul. Look around at your life. Nothing feels wasted anymore. Every scar now glows faintly with meaning. You've learned to bless the memories that once made you cry. Gratitude has replaced grief, and peace has replaced panic. You see now that God was never absent. He was simply silent, shaping you into someone who could hear Him even when He didn't speak. Completion feels different from victory. Victory celebrates the end of battle. Completion celebrates the birth of wholeness. You are whole now, not because everything is perfect, but because nothing is missing. You have learned to hold joy and sorrow in the same hand, to bless both beginnings and endings. That balance is divine. This is what maturity in the Spirit feels like, a quiet knowing that whatever comes next will not shake what was forged in fire. You have outgrown fear. You have outlived doubt. You have learned to rest even while the winds still move around you. You are no longer a survivor, you are a steward. From this place of completion, new beginnings will unfold. Heaven never closes one door without building a corridor into the next. The wisdom you carry will become guidance for others. You will not even need to try. Your peace will teach them. Your endurance will lead them. Your kindness will awaken faith in those who lost it. Every chosen one eventually becomes a lighthouse. You are that now, a steady flame by the shore, for others still lost at sea. They will not worship you. They will simply find their way home by your light. That is the beauty of completion. It turns personal redemption into collective illumination. And when new storms come, you won't fear them. You'll smile, because you know the pattern. You've seen how heaven works, how endings are beginnings wearing disguises, how pain is a doorway to purpose, how silence is God speaking in another language. You've become fluent in that language now. You understand the pauses, the delays, the detours. You know that all things still work together for good. So, stand tall beneath heaven's gaze. The crown upon your spirit is not heavy, it fits perfectly. It rests not as weight, but as witness. You are no longer waiting for validation, you are living as the validation of God's faithfulness. This is the legacy of those who endure. They become living scriptures. Your life now preaches without words. Every step testifies that love never fails, that mercy triumphs, that grace always finds a way. Heaven writes your name not in ink, but in light. The story you carry will continue beyond you. Generations will benefit from what you built through obedience, even if they never know your name. That is the quiet majesty of divine purpose. It echoes forever. So breathe deeply. The chapter closes, but the song continues. The same hand that tested you now blesses you. The same fire that refined you now surrounds you as glory. And the same voice that once whispered, "Endure," now says, "Well done." The test is over. The crown is secure. And love the love that held you, healed you, and proved you will keep writing your story into eternity. You've reached the end of this journey, but something inside you knows it isn't really the end. It's a beginning written in softer ink. The same love that carried you here will carry you forward. Every word you've read has been a mirror, reflecting the strength, the hope, and the grace already living inside you. If this message has touched your heart, let it breathe beyond you. Each like is a spark, a whisper saying, "Yes, this truth lives here too." Each share is a bridge, stretching light towards someone scrolling in quiet despair, wondering if heaven still remembers them. You might be the reason they remember what peace feels like. When you subscribe, you're joining a circle of light. It's a gathering of souls who choose faith over fear, connection over chaos. Your presence keeps this circle bright, every click another candle, another testimony that hope is alive. If you feel that gentle pull to give, to pour back into the well that refreshed you, let it be an offering, not an obligation. Imagine planting a single seed in soil you'll never see, yet knowing one day it will bloom for someone who needs beauty. Your generosity becomes that flower. And if your spirit wants to speak, leave a comment below. Let your words be a note in the song we are all singing together, a melody of restoration, courage, and love that never ends. Someone will read what you write and find the strength to keep believing. There is no demand here, only invitation. Respond only as your heart desires. Like, share, comment, subscribe, give, or simply sit in stillness and whisper gratitude. Every response is worship when it flows from love. Carry this peace with you. Chosen one, let your life continue the message.